Oh, we're recording. Awesome. I think that's working. Everybody's in. Can everybody hear us okay? Give us a quick one in the chat if you can hear us all okay. People coming in. Perfect. That's Sarah. All right. So we've got Gavin, Rob, Nico, Titus. Sarah's just joining. Sounds like you can hear us all right. Beautiful. All right. Well, morning, everybody, or morning or evening or whatever time zone you're in. We've got Mark here from expAInd this morning. Morning, Mark. I know it's 3:30 a.m. for Mark. He's in Dubai. Thanks for turning up, mate.
Cheers.
Appreciate it. So I've known Mark for a while through through the GHL community and had conversations and seen some of the stuff that Mark's been doing in AI, and he likes what we do with SMS and WhatsApp and these things as well. So we've had lots of conversations, and Mark is doing some pretty cool stuff, I would say, in the AI space. Now, so I guess what we're going to talk about today, Mark's got a bit of a presentation that he's going to jump into once we've sort of got through here. To really talk about agentic AI. Now we've touched on this. I'll say we've touched on it. We've done this before as a topic, but I would say we're going to another level now. And AI is advancing and expanding so quickly. See how I did that, Mark? Expanding so quickly. Did you like that? um, into like different business units as well. So we've touched on agentic AI before and how you can use different areas of your business, but we're going to talk a lot about different areas of your business, linking them together with different AI units. And I guess what Mark's kind of, I don't know if you've coined this phrase, Mark, or if this is your phrase, but like the invisible CRM. So we're high levelers, we're using a CRM, we go in there, we fill in details, we look at stuff. But where's the future going with this? And that's what we're going to kind of touch on and look at today, because do we want to be spending our time going into CRMs, or do we want to be spending our time just having a quick conversation with an AI agent that goes out, fills in the information, brings it back for us, makes a call, sends a text, updates the notes, creates an invoice, creates a proposal, creates an invoice, all those things. And where's the future going? So we're going to touch on a whole bunch of that stuff today with a lot of well, I've already seen your presentation, Mark, and it was thought-provoking to me. So I think it's very good. So if I could get you, Mark, maybe you just want to introduce yourself quickly, what you do at expAInd. Maybe you could probably do a better job of maybe explaining what we're going to go through today as well, and where you see the future of AI going, mate.
No one knows, but thanks, Gary. Look, I think um, most importantly, I'm not going to bore anybody to death with PowerPoint because I used Gamma. Um, Other than that, it's really, I mean, we've all had our journeys to sort of get to where we are. From, if it's worthwhile, from a background perspective, I used to be in tech and IT many years ago. Um, and then I went into F&B and had bars and restaurants and whatnot for a good 15 years, I think. Um, and I got frustrated with agencies as a business. So I was a client. Um, and the frustration was real. And it got worse after COVID with digital agencies, social media agencies, and things of the like. And you're paying big retainers, all those sort of things that we all know. And I just thought there had to be a better way. So I sort of thought I'd try to build a better SMMA. And then sort of the end of, God, what year are we in now? The end of
25.
2003. Yeah, I know, right? End of
Yeah.
2003, we sort of span that on its head a little bit and just said, okay, let's effectively be AI first. And if I remember, Gary, we first started speaking probably really early in 2004.
You mean
And that's what,
2024?
yeah, sorry, yeah,
I was
2024,
saying
yeah.
that's 21 years ago, mate. Yeah, 2024, I think. Yeah.
And like we built we built our first AI platform on N8N back then,
Yeah.
um, because we just found that the high level one wasn't quite ready yet. It's always skateboard. Didn't like Zappy Chat, all those other things. So we thought, oh, we'll build it ourselves because we think we know what the customer wants and what we want the AI to do. So just rather than being always dependent on a provider to give us the tools that we wanted, we just sort of made a decision to sort of go down that path and be AI first. Now that has created um, probably 6 strategic pivots just in the last 12 months.
Mm.
Where you sort of start focusing on certain things and then adding other product layers and whatnot
Yep.
just to market. So, we use things like Play, we use things like Hey Levi, we built a stack up of services to be able to give clients. Yeah. Then we still had clients, pardon me, that wanted us for SMMA. And we didn't want to do that anymore because it was so time consuming. We could do it, our team can do it, but it was just super time consuming in terms of what you're able to charge and the amount of human time involved in executing that.
Mm.
So then that started a whole nother pivot, right? We've gone, okay, well, there's a better way of doing it. And every month, every 6 weeks, there was something new coming out. And I'm probably the worst offender in shiny object syndrome because I do love playing with new things. Um, and sometimes that does delay things being done because I sort of change focus a little bit, and that's my fault. That's my weakness. But what we have done since, I guess, towards the end of last year is primarily focus on what if a business never had to log into their CRM ever again. Yeah.
Mm.
That's sort of the roadmap that we wanted to get to. And we know that's going to take some time. But we also appreciate that I think the stat is something like 84% of SMBs do not have a CRM. It's
But
huge.
most of them don't
Huge.
even have a Google spreadsheet. It's unbelievable.
So imagine that untapped market, right? If they don't actually have to have one and they can literally just start using it and it does stuff for them. So that's sort of where our head is going, and it's a little bit early for that now, but there's a lot of value to be provided to a business today. So I guess so if we know what the end game is, right? What I just want to run through is some of the data, yeah, and sorry, just go through some of the data, and I'll show you a couple of things, and I'll give you some insight of what our customers have been telling us. Primarily, everything that we have built or we've roadmapped has effectively been driven by a customer requirement, and that's driven the foundation of what we're building, because if they want it, we just sort of do a double check, do a little bit of research, go, do you know what? If we build it for them, other people are going to want it as well. And then all of a sudden you're actually building a system, right? So the
Mm.
most important thing out of this is at the end of the day, it's a system, Yep, sure, there can be customization for a business if they want it. But once you can deliver a system, then you can repeat it. It's no different to a snapshot in high level. If you've got your onboarding right, yeah, and the snapshot is of good quality and adds value to the business, you've got a great business. Yeah, high level by itself is no different to Salesforce and HubSpot by itself. A customer themselves, they never want to go in there and build stuff themselves because they don't have the time.
Mm.
Um, and that's sort of what we're trying to spin back to is give people back time and give them the tools that make them money, because they're the two most important things to anyone in business: time and money. So
Yeah,
that's sort of. focus on.
It's what you're always selling, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, mate. Well, I know you've got a presentation that you've done with AI using the Gamma app as well, which is pretty cool. Before we do jump into that, so anyone who's on here, if you've got any questions at any time, if you want to pop your hand up or drop them in the chat, Sarah's already just said in there, never log into the CRM again, likes that. So I think we all think that might be a good idea and probably where things are going in the future.
Oh,
But yeah,
nice.
if you have any questions, pop your hand up or pop them in the chat. We can ask them, or we'll have Q&A at the end. If you've got a camera, if you are able to, I should have said this before, if you're able to pop your camera on, that would be awesome. Do love to see smiley faces rather than just names on the screen. So that would be really nice if you could pop your camera on and show Mark some appreciation for turning up at 3:30 a.m. That'd be good. Thanks, Rob. Good to see you, mate. Anyone, if you're in your PJs or in bed or driving, don't worry about it. Stay safe because we do get people joining these when they're driving their car, and I never want to hear the screeching of tires in the background. But yeah, did you want to share your screen, mate, and pop up your little Gamma app presentation there, mate?
So here's something I prepared earlier.
Yeah, it's pretty good, this Gamma app. I had a little play with it in the week actually. I was like, wow, it's pretty nice.
The other good one is Prezi. So you can build it in Gamma and then put it into Prezi. But anyway, that's details.
All right, mate.
Um, so yeah, I don't need to sort of tell people too much about AI. Everyone here is reasonably well informed. Um, but I think inside a business, it's now moving forward from dabbling and using it for content and marketing departments to, in particular, the last 6 months, businesses are now spending time. It's on their to-do list, it's on their whiteboard. They are talking about it, it's in board meetings. So rather than last year where you had some early adopters. It's now in the mindset of businesses, so the growth is there. Um, and I hate the word chatbot. I really do. But many of the platforms are chatbots, but I just hate it. And unfortunately, even when we talk to some clients, they go, "Oh yeah, yeah, we've got AI. We've got this chatbot on our website." And I've gone, "Okay, that's not really." AI. It serves a purpose, but unless you're getting, X, Y, Z, tens of thousands of people to your website and you're driving people there, what's it really doing? It's still passive. You still got people to your website.
Mm,
But today, businesses are researching, reviewing articles. They are sending people to conferences to learn about how they can implement AI in their business. And it's not necessarily to get rid of staff. Yeah. Um, so, um, what we found is they are going out to their IT departments. Their IT departments are going out to their contractors. The marketing department's doing their own thing. The sales department's doing their own thing. And what's happening is they are literally bolting a lot of things together, which is great, but there's a lot of things happening in isolation and in solos. Not so much at that SMB layer, but certainly at the SME and corporate layer. And enterprises, as we know, they just do their own thing and they have been doing it for a long time, right? So the whole essence of, I guess, agentic AI is integrating all of the systems together. So your AI system is context aware, is contact aware, is business aware in terms of the knowledge of the business, understands how the finance department works, understands even a user's tone of voice. So can communicate back to a user in the same language they use in their emails. But really, the competitive edge comes down to saving time, and the opportunity is there for those people that are already playing in the game to take some of those next steps. Because then you actually become a partner in their business. So, for example, they've got their accounting software over there. They might have their ERP or their logistics software where they might use Odoo or Zoho, like extensions of accounting software. They might use your CRM or High Level or Pipedrive or HubSpot for their CRM, right? So there's a way to get all of those working and then have a layer of information that sits between them all. Yeah. Um, oh, I think I was meant to move a slide and I didn't. My bad, but it's okay. I'll go here.
Yep.
Um, so in short, businesses are moving there. Businesses are investing in it. And that's probably the biggest word that I've seen from customers now. They are not looking at they're not looking at a proposal and thinking it's a cost. They are now looking at it as an investment. Um, so what we've found is when we're talking to a client, we don't nickel and dime. We charge well, right? But that's because of the value that's being added. There is still the core, what I call the core framework of the front end of a business. And that's where we have spent most of our time, which is I guess on the sales side with their sales team, marketing departments, um, and their agencies sometimes. And our biggest push, we started playing around with database reactivation as well, like everybody has. It's still an important part, but really what we found the core value proposition to get in the door was in and around speed to lead. Obviously, the follow-ups, nurturing, round robin calendars, and then content creation. And we use Play, we use UpX for different clients. It just depends. But that's still the hot button today. Yeah. So that's not really going to go anywhere. It's always going to be important because that is sort of the immediate revenue and the immediate results. So focusing on that, all of our clients, probably same as yours, okay, spend money on ads. Google ad spend has skyrocketed in the last year for everybody. Um, and all a customer wants is more leads. Yeah, whether they convert them or not, that's up to their salespeople, but they want, they want more leads. So what I'm about to show you, it's unfortunately it's only available in the US. Thank you to GDPR and a few other things. But with data providers in the US, we're able to find high intent leads. So that's people that are searching on Google, Bing, Yahoo, and then that drops into the CRM. Then if they're a business lead, we can research them so we can find out about their company, what their pain points are, and then create some really creative email copy that goes out to them. And it just all happens in an automated fashion. Then when they reply, the AI replies to it, and then it goes into a follow-up, then an SMS goes out. And that's a system. No human has to touch that at all. And that basically comes from when they search lead generation in Google, it'll just come into the pipeline. So I'll show you that quickly. I won't spend a lot of time on it, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you're going to give us a demo of this, Mark, because this is one of the tools that you were showing me a while ago that we tested as well, and this is amazing, quite frankly. Like, I just saw
Yeah.
Michael Dooley popped in the room here. Michael, if you're still paying attention there, mate, definitely pay attention to this bit, Michael. I think this would be good for you and your clients, mate.
So what I'll
Well,
do is
everyone on here actually, but yeah, I know specifically Michael. So
yeah. So this is just a dummy account, but basically there's three models. So we can put a pixel on a customer's website. Um, so you can have a pixel just on a sales funnel. You can have a pixel on different pages of the website. And if the traffic is coming from the US, um, we can usually, when I say usually, probably 40 to 45% of the time, um, capture their contact information and punch that straight into the CRM. So that goes here. So it's just sits in the header, very easy. Comes back into our system. We verify and validate the user, and then send it into the CRM. Get their details, put them into a custom audience on your Meta account or on your Google Ad Manager, and all of a sudden you can start serving them ads as well. And if they've come to your website and they're already in your CRM, well, then you route them down another path and make sure it goes to a salesperson. They've just come back to our website. Why aren't you on the phone to them? So I'll just give you an idea. So that's all the data that comes through. You know what page they came on, and then it goes into the CRM, and then based on your tags, you put it in the appropriate workflow. But as I said, you can have one for an ad funnel, you can have another one for your normal website, so you can see repeat visitors. But more importantly, if you're running ads, especially on Meta, what we find is people will go to Meta, they'll go to the profile page, they'll dig around the website before they actually respond to an ad in a lot of ways, if they're serious. Yeah. Then we have the Search Scout, which is where this is great. So this one here, again, it's only for the US. So we want to target everybody in the US. You can go by state. You can select multiple states. You could even go by zip code. If you go by state, I'll just select that for now. I can then drill down to cities, so I can just put in the markets that I want to target for these leads. I'll go back here. And then if somebody, let's say this one here is, I think, for lead generation, RB2B lead gen, for example, right? If I've already got that lead and they search that again, our system won't send that lead again. So we charge 90 cents per lead, and then usually our partners will add value by putting them into workflows, sending emails, doing some personalization, adding them to custom audiences and whatnot. But the system won't send you the same lead again. Yeah. But sometimes, say, roofing, yeah, they go, no, if they've searched again, I want to know, because I'm going to give that to my salesperson to reach out to them. So configurations. So directly integrated with Lead Connector, and then you just manage your workflows by tags, and then it will go into the right workflow and the right email sequence based on the tag that you've put them in. And again, sort of that's the data that comes through. You can actually get more data now, so you can find out their salary, what their job role is. You can even get their credit score, all that sort of stuff. Whatever is publicly available, if it's available, you can get it. And for some businesses, that's important. For a lot of other businesses, it's not important. All they know is they just searched for my keyword. Yeah. So what's one here? Yeah. So, you just put in the keywords. Like, it's almost like you have to reverse think your Google keyword strategy. Yeah. But it
So sorry to interrupt you, Mark, but so this is the one that you showed me, which I love, because like you said, it's about 90 cents a lead that you guys charge for this, but that's 90 cents for a lead that is searched on the keywords that you want for your campaign, which is depending on what that campaign is, but Google prices are not cheap anymore, and you're going to be paying 5, 10, 15, $20 per click. And that doesn't even mean that that person has filled in the form to give you their details. Depending on what your opt-in rate is or whatever it might be, you can be paying tens or hundreds of dollars per lead by the time they've actually come through to your website, browsed around a bit, spent their time, decided to fill in the form. But for 90 cents, you can get leads that have searched on your keywords and all that data for them, and then pop them into your CRM, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's that's pretty good. It's
Yeah.
pretty good. Uh, I haven't shown you this one yet. This one was only just added. Um, so now we can actually get business data. So nowhere near as many leads, but what you can get now is wrong one, sorry. And so now you get their company email, their company website, you get their LinkedIn profile. So now with that information, if the client is a B2B company, yeah, so they sell to other businesses. So now with this information, you can really hyper personalized email copy. You never have to use a standard email template again. You can end-to-end hyper personalize it. So, and we've got so once the lead comes in, we'll send that through, and so as soon as it comes in, we'll send that through an agent that will do all of that, put all that into custom fields within the CRM, and that email copy will just go out. That knowledge base that we build on these customers stays inside the CRM against that contact. So the salesperson has also got that research on that customer. But more importantly, we also give that to our conversational AI. So when they reply to an email or when they fill out the form on the lead magnet or go to the website, whatever it might be, when they engage with the business, and if the AI, the conversational AI, is the first port of call, the conversational AI has all of that information to be able to bring into the conversation. And for most of our clients that are B2B, part of what we do is we make sure that that information also includes what those businesses' potential pain points are that the client can help them with, because then that becomes the AI's focus when it's having the conversation, and also the focus of the copy that goes in the emails. So basically, that lead comes in, and all of that is done by probably four, I think it's four different AI agents do that role to create all that information, that copy, and that knowledge base. And that's perfect for a B2B type business. I'm just trying to find this. So I'm just going to give you an example of what we've done. So with our client, because we use high level as well, obviously. So most of our clients do as well. And I'm trying to find it. Here it is. So we've got a little snapshot that we give our clients. It's not rocket science, it's pretty simple. But based on the lead coming into the sub account, then gets distributed based on its tag. And then it will go into the email sequence specifically based on whatever the tag was and what that campaign is. So,
Mhm.
all of a sudden you're just not sending out a generic, hey, how you doing? Can we help you? You're actually sending something out because they've literally just searched for, you know, hot water system, right? So now you send them an email with hot water system in the subject line, and you make sure hot water system is in the first sentence that they see. They're going to open it because they've literally just searched for it. And then it's about the credibility of your business and what you want to talk to them about, whether they whether they reply. Sometimes it's not urgent as well because a lot of search traffic is based on research. So they've still got an intent, but maybe they're not quite yet at that purchasing point. So then what you do is you nurture them to get to that purchasing point, but you've now got that lead that has the intent that didn't have it before.
And you've shown me some of the campaigns that you've run for clients, and the open rate on those emails is incredible. And
Oh,
people don't
we
realize as well because they
I
haven't
did one
gone
97% open rate for one client's campaign. It was amazing.
crazy. And people who've done that search, because I had this question as well, this thought, it's like, well, they've searched for your company, or sorry, they've searched for that keyword, but they haven't been
Mhm.
to your website. They don't know what your company is. They haven't filled in a form on your website, so they're not expecting to hear from you. So how does that go? And then you kind of said to me, which makes sense. It's like, well, people have just searched, and most people have searched three, four, five websites. They probably filled in two, three, four forms, and then they've just walked away. And then they've forgotten who
How many,
they've,
how many, how many people have contacted them? Yeah.
yeah, they don't know who they've contacted anyway. So then when they get an email, let's just say, take that hot water, for example, they've contacted two to three different businesses about getting a new hot water system installed. They filled in their contact form, said, can someone get back to me, please? And then it takes a little while for that system to run through because I know you go through a review process with AI of the data and put it through and
Oh, yeah.
verifying
Yeah. So
everything. So
AI verifies it at three levels,
yeah,
and then it takes out all of the bots, obviously all of the duplicates, but in particular, it's taking out the bots. So we make sure, so we might lose some good leads, but we make sure that the only leads that come through, we've been able to verify and validate that it's a real human. So, that's why we don't get as many as we could, but we would rather have less but better quality.
yeah. And that whole process takes up to 2 hours, I think, something like that as it goes through. So from someone searching, filling in a couple of forms, and then within a couple of hours, you can have an email, an automation going out to that person within a couple of hours, say, hey, you were interested in a hot water system. Just to let you know, we've got a special deal at the moment on hot water systems. Would you like one of our sales reps to give you a call or whatever it might be, however you nurture that and put that email together, which is incredible. Like all
So
done.
you think that some businesses and some brands, when it's like if there's been a storm and somebody's got a leaking roof, hey, give them a call, right? But if somebody's searched for couches or something like that. Okay, well, that's different. You don't call them, right? Especially if they're not on the DNC list. But there's nothing wrong with sending them an email
Hmm.
and you've got all their information. So you can put them in a custom audience in Meta, all automated. So basically, as soon as it goes into the custom audience, you're starting to serve them ads as well as sending them emails,
Yep.
right? Then you can build a lookalike audience around that custom audience because they've got high intent for whatever the product and service is that you're buying.
Amazing. Amazing.
So yeah,
All right, man.
that was fun.
Just a little tool you built just on the spare time.
Yeah. Um, Now, where is my thingy here? So that was all about delivering customers everything that they were asking for us, which was leads. Okay, cool. So and it works and it's steady. We were a little bit worried, but I think that we don't think that those rules will change in the US for another 4 years. They might change after that. Depends on who's in the big seat.
You think Trump will leave
Um,
it there for now?
I don't think he's going to change anything at the moment. Not there. So then we go back to sort of where we started the conversation, which was okay. What is this agentic AI thing that is the new buzzword in the last little while? Um, the hang on. Yes, how does this compare to high-level workflow sequences? What I just showed you before was high level. That was so what we're doing is putting it in high level. We are hyper personalizing all those leads outside um, putting it into high level. We have some customers that use high level for cold emails, but we also have an integration where we can put all of that into instantly if it's a higher volume client, because instantly absolutely gets a better delivery rate. And instantly, I think for a client, for a normal client, it's about $97 a month. Um, but yeah, you do get a much better delivery rate in instantly. And the way we set it up is that when they reply, the reply comes back into high level and the AI takes over. So
Cool. And I think that maybe that answers Sarah's question as well about what do you use to warm up your email domains to get such high open rate? Because GHL
yeah,
email deliverability sucks. So you're not using GHL so much for the
no,
email.
no.
You would.
So we had this. We had the same problems early on. So we use G Suite for most of ours, and then we put them on instantly, and we just keep them nice and warm for our clients. I think we've got a corporate deal. I think it's about $1.50 per month per mailbox, out of India. But anyway, I'll anybody wants the link, I'll let you know.
Cool.
Um, so back to agentic. So what I just showed you was a number of AI agents working together, right? Now that wasn't necessarily agentic, right? They were just AI workflows working in a line. Yeah. So then one that's finished, then it goes to the next one, and then it goes to the next one. So when you start talking about agentic, that's when all of a sudden, okay, so we want some of these agents to be able to make decisions, to be able to execute things, not just create copy, but actually do a task. Now, all we want them to do is some basic tasks, and if it's too complex, speak to a human, right? So you've got your primary agent that oversees, he's like the orchestrator, and he's got a whole bunch of rules. He's got a whole bunch of tools and a whole bunch of other agents available to him. So that could be email, your research agents, the CRM agent, which I will show you, I promise, calendar agent, and a few other things. And then they can coordinate and they can execute tasks. So you don't have to, right? And being able to have that agent also as a not just a passive agent where it's just reacting to your input, but it's also proactive in the sense that it's staying on top of you or the user on things that you have to do. So,
Can I just ask you a question on this, Mark, before we sort of dive in here? Because this is something I wonder.
mhm.
How do you QA all these agents that are working together? So we use chatbots, which I know you don't like the term for particularly, but anyway, we use
Yeah,
chatbots and we have to prompt them, and then we prompt them, and then somebody asks a question that we never thought about, and it gives a ridiculous answer because it's not in the prompt to cover that, and it doesn't know what to do, so it makes something up. So then you see that and you go, oh God, adjust the prompt, tweak that. If that happens again, it will know what to do now, and then something like that happens again. So there's a manual process of kind of reviewing, adjusting prompts, taking care of that. How do you
yeah.
manage when you've got agentic AI and you've got different AI systems integrated with each other and like QAing that? Are you using AI to QA the AI?
Yeah, we do. So we've got moderators at all steps. And then we have a thing called human handoff. Um, so I know that's in, I think N8N and Make have got it in theirs now as well. But that's a super important thing now that things are getting a little bit more creative.
Hmm.
That the all the you know the original long prompt
Hmm.
chatbots, yeah,
Yep.
um, they go off the rails, right? So Um, what we started doing, and then this was early, early last year, is we had probably four moderators basically reviewing every single piece of data before it went out. Yeah.
Mm.
So then it was able to circle it back. Now we've got it set up that if it's going off the rails, it will send it to a human. What I found the most important thing to get right is the knowledge base, is your FAQs, which is different to your knowledge base, right? Um, and then the prompt itself, yeah, and how that prompt is structured, and then the rules that you actually give the AI in terms of what we call the guardrails, yeah,
Mm.
that anything that happens outside of the guardrails goes to a human.
Okay.
So even with the agentic stuff that we're doing now, it will execute basics tasks, but it won't execute others. It will go to a human for confirmation that it can move forward. Would you like me to do this before it goes ahead and executes it? But some of the basic stuff isn't too much of a problem. And then before it does it, it will be moderated.
And I assume this is just going to get better and better and smarter at asking questions and thinking things through. And I think of this from like my use, right? So I'll use ChatGPT for certain things and Manus for other things. But if I put
Math,
the same prompt into Manus and say, oh, sorry, if I put something into ChatGPT and ask it a question, whatever that might be, it will just run off and it will give me an answer, right? It will just figure out from that question, it will give me an answer. I put that into Manus and it will come back to me normally with like 4 or 5 questions and say, just want to clarify, do you mean this? How about that? Would you like me to include this? Do you want me to research this as well? So Manus has a different approach. It's much better for researching. So I'll use that a lot more for researching stuff. So I guess with these agentic AI models, they're going to start to become smarter in that way and go, oh, I don't really understand this. I need clarification. And then they're going to start questioning each other and to figure out the answers. And then they can fire that back to the human if they just go, hey, we don't have direction here. That's pretty
yeah,
much what's
so
happening, right?
I mean that's probably a pretty good example of um, the primary agent here. Primary agent oversees and double checks this one as well,
Mm,
right? Before anything happens or goes out. So, but like we play with Grok, Gemini, obviously Anthropic, ChatGPT. We hardly use ChatGPT at all anymore. And back in the day, it was the only thing we had.
mm.
you know so it's moving so quickly, and we've been saying it for a long time. Where it is today's the worst it's ever going to be.
Crazy. It's absolutely mad.
you know
Like
um
I get impatient now. I put something into Manus that I want to research, and I get impatient waiting 5 minutes for it to work out something that would take me hours to do. Like
yeah.
and it's only been around for a few months. It's like that's absolutely mad. So yeah.
So one of the things that we've found is the opportunity there is to build a solution for a business that's ready to use. Yeah. So some businesses, sure, will need some customization, but if you can take care of 80% of it, 80% of how a business would use it and or their use case, and then, like one of your questions that you asked, which I was going to come back to, is that we'll build the system, and then the variation is based on the business itself. So we create them as variables. So when they're going to be setting up their own system, they will have those variables, which then makes their system unique. So obviously knowledge base, but it could be, for example, they might use high level differently than another agency might use high level. So we can actually put that as a variable inside the system. So then the AI then knows how to deal with their system, right? Um, what custom development. So I'm getting back to custom development does. So there's some AI agencies out there now building stuff from scratch. Well, from scratch, they might be using templates. effectively, really just building it within the likes of N8N or Make, not so much Zappi anymore, but N8N and Make. And they're really cool little systems, right? But they're all prototypey, which means, and it takes time to build them and execute them and make them bulletproof. So what we wanted to do is spend our time on making a bulletproof production ready to use system that can cover what 80% of a business might want. One of the ways we've been able to do that is by using this new term that everybody's heard of, MCP servers, right? And how they work and whatnot. I think it was January that I sort of teased you with ours, Gary, right? So we've been playing around with a little while, and it's been fun, but it's also trying to get it so it's bulletproof and production ready versus having to do a bespoke build for every client, right? And sort of that's where we're at the moment. So now let's just see. I love live demos. They always go wrong.
Just checking. So we've got well, we can go over time if everyone wants to stay, and we've got a bit more to do. But yeah, we're hitting up to the hour mark actually. Mark, I didn't realize we've been talking for so long. It's 20 past 10 on my end. So I don't want to rush you, mate, but also obviously I'll just want to
All
recognise other
good.
people's time that are on here if they've only allowed the hour, which is what we scheduled in here. But
All right. How about I just show you this? So what I'll do is I'll show you what I mean by invisible CRM. And this sort of started coming from clients. One of the things that came back was they spend all this money on this on the CRM and their staff don't use it, or they don't use it properly. It's not updated, right? So garbage in, garbage out, right? So if they're not updating things, then the automations aren't really doing it justice either, because nothing's being updated properly. And I've gone, okay. So that sort of made us sort of really, really focus on it. So as an example, I'm pretty sure you should be able to hear this. So we haven't finished building the full production ready version yet. Yeah, it's probably a month away, I think, and then in the marketplace as well. But there will be an app where it will literally just be a chat in the app and obviously two-way voice. Simple as that. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, Gary, I'm going to send you an SMS. Yeah.
yep.
Allow.
Well, hello there. How can I help you today?
Hi, can you go to the CRM and can you send an SMS to Gary Caps and just thank him for his time today? And when you've done that, can you please add a task for next Tuesday for me to follow up with him and thank him again?
Certainly, I'll send that to my team of super agents for you.
So that's all happening in the background.
Super agents are on the job.
So just giving you
Indeed.
examples. So okay, shush. So a great example of use there is salespeople are on the road, they're in the coffee shop, they're not necessarily sitting in front of their desk. Yeah. So it's just them being able to literally take a moment, and we can do it two ways. So the CRM can communicate with them after a meeting, yeah, and get the notes of that meeting or get an update or just update the contact, update the tag. I'm just going to end that. Oh, hang, are you still listening?
Yes, I am still here and listening attentively. It sounds like you are describing a scenario where salespeople can use the CRM remotely to update contacts and tasks after meetings. Is there anything specific you would like me to do with this information or any questions you have for me?
No, but can you do me a favor? Can you add Gavin Marshall to the CRM? Phone number is +61 141 41414.
One moment, I'll look into that.
I'm just going to find it. Won't be a sec.
The super agents doing their thing in the background.
Yeah, I'm just going back to my high level. Go. There's the SMS. So we have an A2P. This is just a sandbox. So I have not done A2P to A2P, but it's try to send you an SMS. I was just making sure it was working before the call. I can even, I'm not sure why it didn't add that one, but I love it when a demo goes bad.
Right, that's the beauty of a live demo, mate. You put your life on the line.
Like it's high risk, man. And then, obviously, you can just be typing to it. Can you please add Mary Smith to the C? So, for example, I could upload a business card and it would do it to the CRM.
But I think everyone understands well. This is all in sandbox. This is all in development. And as you said, like today is the worst it's ever going to be, and this is pretty incredible where it is today.
So at the moment, so now the orchestrating agent is doing its thing. Yeah, it's having a chat with the CRM, with the other agents as well, working out what to do, and then it will execute it. For example, in most CRMs are driven by tags, just like high level. So there you go. Let me just see if it worked. Most CRMs are driven by tags. So the simple thing is you can literally add anything to the CRM, add it to add a tag, and then that tag will then add it to a workflow or another part of the customer journey. So hang on, please tell me we're in the game. There we go. There's Mary Smith, new lead. Now if I go to automations, oh, it's in draft. Good on you, Mark. I love good. All right, so I'll stop.
Yeah, you want to fight, isn't it?
Yeah. The most important thing I wanted to go through was this. These are real issues that they can't scale. People are worried about data. So it's important to have a structure in place. And to be fair, that's why we use AWS. And we try to take all of the integration pain away from a client by managing the I guess the middleware, if you like. So then there's not as much. We talked about this before, human oversight. So with those guardrails that we were talking about, if anybody wants his presentation, I'll send it to them. Where is this key number? Here. This is the number, right? Anyone wants to take a screenshot of this, right? That's how much time people waste, and the ability to be able to give that time back has a genuine measurable result for a business. So if I go here, funnily enough, we've got a little ROI calculator. We love them. So let's say, I'm a small business. I've got, say 14 staff. Now, if I'm only going to save 1 hour a day on repetitive tasks, or tasks that they don't have to, waste too much time on, that's just what it is based on the hour. But it's not necessarily just saving that money on that hour. It's the ability to give that hour back to the employee to spend on better things, so whether that be more strategic conversations with a customer or a supplier or internal resource, you're giving them that time back by taking out things like, lead generation. We already know the follow-up thing, but if you now can start taking back some of this other time that they spend now, all of a sudden you're adding real value to their business. And a salesperson will spend, even call center staff members really have trouble keeping their CRMs updated. Yeah. So if you can help solve that problem as well, for a business, you are going to be their lifeblood in different ways. But they're the things that they're available now. I mean, we've dropped them into clients now. But what we're trying to do is sort of get it to the next stage where it's a system for other businesses to drop into their customers, and then the ability to customize where they need to.
So yeah, I like what you're saying as well. It's not just about saving that time of firing that staff member. It's about improving their process, improving the business. You probably add revenue with that, because I think about one thing there. It's like
Much
your
per
lead,
user.
yeah, lead generation and then follow up to customers, right? I mean, I have lost count of the amount of customers that we've had over the years where you provide them leads and they just go, oh yeah, well, we're not doing any better. You go, did you call the leads? Oh yeah, well, we tried to call them, but we couldn't get hold of them. And we've literally done this where we go, okay, and we just take 10, 15, 20 of the leads and we just ring them. And then we go back to the client and we go, okay, we've rung these 20 leads. 50% of them answered on the first ring. Another 50%, it went to voicemail, and then 3 out of those rang us back, and then the other 5 rang out, whatever it might be. And we just did that in 10 minutes. And you're telling me you didn't get one single new client out of this list of leads? I think that your staff are not ringing them, and your staff are not ringing them because they're busy, they're doing other things, or maybe they rang 3 and they didn't get back to the rest of them because they got caught up in something else. And
Or they got one rejection. They said, that's it, I'm not picking up the phone again.
yeah, so but if you can improve all that stuff through AI, and yeah, it's not about getting rid of that staff member and saying, hey, we're going to replace you with AI. But if you've got that working, then hey, that staff member can maybe move into a different position and customer success. Because I'm a big believer, AI is amazing, it's going to help us. I'm a really big believer in human interaction as well. I think it's super important, and I think that's where a lot of businesses are going to win in the future, in managing and automating the, let's call it the tedious, repetitive tasks kind of thing. But customer success, talking one-on-one, understanding your client, making sure that they know that there's a human behind this that cares and is managing all these things as well. I think that's where businesses are going to win a lot in the future, and having that kind of stuff too, like balancing the two out correctly.
People will be able to spend more time on that 10%, as
Yeah.
well as the 100%. Yeah. So, like, one of the things that ours does is after a meeting gets the information and literally generates the proposal, right? More often than not, deals are lost because it might take the salesperson a week or 2 weeks to send them the proposal. By then they've gone cold, right?
Mm.
So it's automating like some of those things, and then all of a sudden the salesperson isn't going to miss out on deals. They get more face time. When you start talking about customer support, marketing, customer success, there's all those little things in there that you can use the agents to do a lot of, the grunt work, right? Just that repetitive task that every department or every employee has got,
Mm.
that it gives them that time to spend with more customers, more potential customers, or just more strategic stuff.
Mate, I think that's definitely where the future going to lie. And then getting all this stuff to interlink together, and if we can get AI to manage and moderate the AI, then mate, and be polite to your GPTs all the time, or your AI agents. I still tell people, because we have like a little GPT, we give people to write their text messages. I say, like, always say please to it. Say please and thank you, because it's coming for you at some point in the future. Like, always be polite.
Just put in more tokens.
Um, Mate, if we're gonna, we'll have some questions as well. If guys are still here, a
I'm
few
okay.
people have dropped off.
I sped through that last bit because I didn't realize we took so long. So I apologize
Yeah,
about
sorry,
that.
mate. I didn't mean to put you on the spot and make you punch through. I'm just want to recognise other people's time they put in here. We had an hour. Um, I just want to ask you those as we wrap up. And if anyone, guys, if you have any questions, there's still a few people on here. Either drop them in the chat, or if you want to put your hand up, if you've got a question for Mark, please do. But I think looking at this, it's kind of like the elephant, right? Like, how do you eat an elephant? It's like one bite at a time, because this is a massive thing and it's so new that even for me, like, I work in a technical space, right? It's not AI. Like, we have AI, we've got some, we've got chatbots and we use AI, but I'm in a technical space and I still find it quite overwhelming as well with all the other things I've got to do in the business to think about putting this stuff in. It's like, my goodness me. So I think we have to, well, actually, this is my question to you. Is like, where do we start? Like, what is our sort of approach and our inroad with customers as well? Because there's customers at different sizes too, right? So if you went to a customer and it's let's say a small business under 10 employees, or even smaller than that, whatever it might be, and you start talking to them about, oh yeah, well, we can do this, we can have agentic AI for you, we'll automate your lead generation and your follow-up, and then we'll link that to your accounting and your proposals, they're going to freak out, right? You talk to an
I think it's
enterprise,
still,
they'll
yeah.
understand that. So what's our inroad to the customers to kind of start them on this journey as well, with the bigger vision of putting this all together, and as it rolls out, it will become smoother and easier, where we'll have deployments like snapshots. We're familiar with those in high
Honestly,
level.
yes,
We'll have we'll,
effectively,
we'll have a
yeah, that's
snapshot. We're going to drop in these three agents, right?
yeah. So look, I still think today, I still think that the on the sales side is the one that will move first, sales and marketing, right? And then it will start going into some of the other areas of the business. Just look, even little things. So, being able to automate a salesperson's, or sometimes the remote workers and whatnot, those people that have to deal with expenses, yeah, being able to automate that stuff, because everybody hates spending that 3 hours at the end of the month doing their claim form, all that sort of rubbish, right? So
Mm,
it can do things like that. One of the other things that we've found in SMB and SME space is on the marketing side, not necessarily about content, um, but about competitor analysis and market movements, right? So that and campaign reporting. So if you speak to any marketing manager, they'll lose a day, a week on their weekly report that they do on last week's campaign.
mm,
We can plug that into a system, and when they go to the office at 9 o'clock in the morning on Monday, it's already done, and all they've got to do is look over it and edit it, and then it's done, right? Um, Competitor analysis. So everybody in business is stuck in their own little bubble. And that's okay, we all are. But if you've got that doing all of your competitor analysis for you and giving you a report, you're going to be more informed and be able to make better decisions. And that could just be on what they're doing in the market, what's been going around, but it also could be a competitor analysis on what ad campaigns and whatnot they are running. Then all of a sudden, that marketing manager, right, no longer needs to pay that extra 5 or 10 grand a month for that other agency that was doing that for them, or them spending that time on doing it themselves. So there's a lot of different ways. I think they're probably the low-hanging fruit. Before you get inside the business, we still, as a business, like focusing on the front end of the business. We like getting closer to where our clients get money. Yeah, because that's the sort of the thing that they look at first, and then start looking at how we can help them internally. But yeah, for us, I still think the low-hanging fruit is still definitely on the sales and marketing side.
Yeah, and that's very true because business they want to see more money coming in. It's great if you can show them, hey, look, we can add, 10% to your business, which equals whatever revenue that might be, 100 grand extra a year, whatever that number is. They're more interested in that. They're going, we could save you $100,000 a year. They go, well, that's great, but I've got to spend money to save money. I want more money coming in first before I spend money to save money. That's pretty much the conversation,
We
right?
had one client trying to help. He wanted some help on onboarding staff members, yeah, and help on onboarding staff members on how their CRM worked, yeah. And they're not a massive business, they might have 40 staff, 50 staff, right? And he goes, look, if you can build that for me, I'll pay you 3.5 grand a month to manage it. Okay, we'll build it, right? So they're little things that you forget that inside their business on a daily basis, they spend so much time on and stress on, and they just want an AI agent to be able to do that for them and know everything. And I'm going, yeah, okay, we'll put that in.
Beautiful, man. All right. Well, Mark, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much. It's I mean, you're at 4:30 in the morning now, mate. Are you going to bed or you just stay up now?
I'll think about it after the next coffee.
All right, mate. Well, look, thank you so much. We'll put this up. We'll put the links and stuff to the things that we've talked about on there. We could put the link to your presentation. We'll put that with it as well. That will stay live on that Gamma app.
Yeah, sure, no worries.
Okay, mate. We'll pop that up there, mate. And yeah, you and I will stay in touch. We'll keep talking, mate. And look forward to seeing the next iteration of the Invisible CRM, mate. We'll have you back.
I will be live soon. So thanks, Gary, and thanks for your time, everybody, and for the questions.
Awesome. Thank you, mate.
Cheers.